Patience. Patience is like one of the most valuable things you can have. Well, especially at my age, I think that's one thing I took for granted. Not took for granted, but that's one of my main problems as a person. I'm impatient. Impatient with people, impatient with things and circumstances, but like just personally mine. Shit. I grew up that way because I was just always in a rush to grow up. In a way because even like mentally I was rushing myself to grow up, but also my circumstances was just rushing me to grow up and do more than I could chew. Like I said, I wasn't never really allowed to be a kid in the way that I look at it. Like I said, at like 14, 15, since hell, fuck that. I was like 9 thinking I'm like, when I get old enough, I'm gonna get a job. Like I'm talking about like the earliest age you can get a job, like 14. And I remember like in the summertime, I like applied at Kroger. And you know how they send you an email talking about, hello, whoop, 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 Kevin. We looked at your application and they just deny your ass. That was happened to me for like a good year. And I was fucking pissed until I just started working like this little janitorial service. But that was my first job ever, was at that janitorial service. And I only got paid once a month, like $200, $200, maybe $300. And I gave like half of that to my mama because of these things that she had to do. But yeah, at an early age, I picked that responsibility quick. And then as a recent, like this whole last summer, I've been working. I was working my ass off. I was 17 working 2 jobs. It's like that was my thing was working. I was like I'm damn near a robot. Like I'll work and then I'll go about the rest of my day. And that's just how I grew up. Grew up working. I grew up taking on grown people responsibilities. And I realized one thing about me, I'm impatient. Damn, I fucked up. Basically, yeah, I grew up like that. I grew up taking on adult responsibilities at a young age. So when it pushed me, so in my mind, I'm pushing like myself to grow up and like have all these things. Like it's like the social expectations. Like you know, 18-year-olds, you want them to have their life in order and everything before they leave the house. It's like that's how I was like still trying to conform myself to be. And when the time finally came, I'm like, I wasn't ready. And I feel like that hindered me in a lot of ways. But impatience is running like the whole story of Kevin and who I am is just like it's always been there. And now as a reason, I've just been peeping it out. Take me, for example. I took my driving test. I was rushing to go get to take my driver's test, and I fuck around and failed that motherfucker. That's one thing I fuck around and failed with. Shit, it just feel like anything. It's like anything. Taking pictures. Like I like taking pictures. I'm a photographer. I like playing like with graphic design and shit. Editing a video. Like when I would make YouTube video, I would rush them. I wouldn't take my time with them, and then I upload them. And I see that I would just rushing. I looked over some things, and I wasn't taking my time. Even at work sometimes, I would just make sandwiches. I used to work at Burger King. I would work at Burger King. I would make sandwiches all fucked up sometimes, but most of the time that was perfect because that's the type of nigga I am. I was a perfectionist. I was always trying to make things perfect. So when I would work there, sometimes I'd fuck up people's sandwiches because I was just in a rush and my mom was just running 100 miles a minute. So that is my thing. And I realized that when you do things in a rush, you tend to always, it's not valued. When you do things, like say if I did pass my road test, I wouldn't appreciate it because I was always rushing things instead of taking my time and just bringing my awareness to what I was doing and actually taking my time to learn it. I was always in a constant rush. And I feel like that's a problem, but at the same time, it's not a problem. It's like, because some people don't have no sense of urgency at all. People don't care about their well-being. They don't care how much, like I said, people like the idea of time. Like, people think that you have tomorrow. Like, that's why people don't ever see like, okay, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. But it's like, you waste time. Like, time is not, like, eventually you will die. And even when you die, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, tomorrow. But it's like, you did. So what can you really do now? It's like, the idea of you always pushing things to tomorrow, you are never gonna do it because you're procrastinating. So that's one thing about me. I just don't like to procrastinate. So That's one thing about why I'm always like impatient and always trying to get some. I want things to done, or I just want instant gratification. I want something that's instant now. Personally, I want this now. I want this now. I want this now. I don't like to. At times, I just don't feel like I want to put in the work. Now, there has been times where like my patience was like on point. Like how I got this car. The summer of this year, yeah, I had to work 2 jobs to get this car. It was like $8,000, but I'm saying like I had to work 2 jobs for it on top of like getting ready for college. It wasn't hard. Well, it was hard because I had to put everything on like on the back burner. I couldn't like. I would basically this is my work schedule. I work from 11 a.m. either 11 a.m. to it was either 8 a.m. to 7, 8 or 9 p.m. and that was all day. That was like Monday through Friday. Then the weekend it was just like 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Those like my regular days all throughout the summer. It wasn't something that was like, it was something that was, I could take it, but it was like, he was pushing out all the extra shit that I actually wanted to do, like go out and have fun and shit. On top of that, I was on semen retention too, so it's like, that's why the reason I have so much energy and I can handle like the 2 jobs. But at the same time, it was pushing out like my fun and just my little extracurricular thing like I like to do. Like I was just like reading books. Like on some real shit, reading books is like one of the easy ways to pick up like game and knowledge. Like if you got the patience for it and like you actually like reading books. I've been trying to get more into reading books as a recent and just finding some time to read them. But it's just like, it's quick knowledge. It's not quick knowledge, but like if you take the time to sit down and read them, you can really expand your mind quickly. But anyway, back to the point, working 2 jobs really pushed out like a lot of like personal growth I could have had. Now, that's just one example of patience. And when I got the car, I felt more, like I said, I was appreciative toward the car, because I'm like, you know what, Kevin, you worked your ass off for this car and you got it. So now what's the next goal? And now at this moment, I'm just looking for the next goal that I'm about to create so I can strive towards something. Yeah. So patience is something I'm still like dealing with. Like developing it and just maintaining it is still something I'm dealing with. But for the most part, I feel like I'm confident about my patience now. Patience is like the thing that keeps people successful. Because, some people will do something. It's like patience and consistency. If you don't, like those 2 things go together. Because you always have to remember, like, damn, I am really gonna, you have to remember that, okay, I gotta do this every fucking day, even though I may not want to, but I know that eventually something great will come out of it. So when I say that, it's like you gotta really keep that in your head and in your heart and in your body so you can just achieve greatness personally, how I feel. So that, what else? So I'm really just seeking my next big endeavor, and I think YouTube, I'm gonna try to do this YouTube. I am gonna do this YouTube shit for a minute and just see how it goes, really, and see how much I can put out. And yeah, shit.